Welcome back to Primetime Super Friends, the show that promises to put the arrow in your quiver, the bat in your belfry, and the flash in your pan. I'm Jeremy, your guide to all things Starling City. I'm joined by just one of my super friends this week, your guide to all things related to Gotham City, John.
Hello.
Conspicuous by his absence is our third super friend, our expert to all things Central City, Michael. He's not feeling well this week. Probably because he caught the hurt. I don't know.
I just assumed he fell on his vagina.
No, he fell vagina first, or butt first, onto an arrow with a dildo on the end of it.
You guys made that?
Yeah.
I'm a little impressed.
You were there. It was New Year's Eve.
I was drunk. I don't remember. Oh, that explains.
Remember when he fell on Gordon?
Yeah.
Gordon was holding it.
In his pants?
Yes.
Gross.
Get better, Michael.
Love you.
If this is your first time listening to the show, where the fuck have you been?
Because we've been around for like half a season, bitches.
Yeah, but anyway, this show's full of spoilers and whatnot, so if you haven't watched the episodes and you don't want them ruined for you, go fuck yourself.
Go watch them and then come back and listen.
Yeah, come back and listen later.
And then go fuck yourself again for not listening the first half.
That's right.
Super Friends, the legendary superpower show.
We've only got one show to talk about this week. Arrow and The Flash don't return for about 2 more weeks, so John's going to talk to us about Gotham.
All right, so we open back up with Gotham, fresh back from the break. We've got, James Gordon settling into his role at Arkham Asylum. And guess what? He's already disliked by the director of Arkham. Not a real explanation here. Just kind of, I don't like you because we've had problems since you got here, even though you're not directly involved. I thought that was kind of a paper-thin, shot to throw in there.
This whole goddamn episode was paper thin.
Yeah, so this won't take long. Good for you. We're introduced to Dr. Leslie Tompkins, who, I'm guessing is what? It's going to be a love interest going forward?
I guess. I'd always pictured her as being older than him.
Yeah, it was kind of a weird throw-in, but, most characters from the comics that have been thrown into the show have been weird. So, seldom have they gotten it completely right. But hey, you know what? It's
hey.
But hey, really? That's what you're gonna catch me on?
Oh no, it sounded interesting.
I just think so far she's at least more likable than Barbara is, because can't stand Barbara.
Fuck that lesbian bitch.
We'll get to that later, because nobody's fucking that lesbian.
Well, okay. I retract my previous. I would fuck that lesbian bitch.
Yeah, but again, you and, arrow dildos and all that.
Hey, she could have a threesome or a foursome with me and the Queen family.
That's not a foursome, that's a threesome, because it's just you and Oliver, you know that.
I was lumping Thea in with that, but...
Yeah, but let's be real.
I'll allow it.
So,
I've got to be extra raunchy. Michael's not here.
Yeah, no, sorry, I'm laughing because I'm like, is it even worth talking about this damn episode?
No, that's why I'm making a bunch of jokes.
We're introduced to some of the prisoners at Arkham, and, it's pretty generic. Oh, look at us, we're crazy. They're putting on a Christmas pageant. Things get a little chaotic.
All right, I have to make a confession really quick.
Okay, go for it.
My DVR missed the first 15, 20 minutes of this episode. Well, it missed the whole episode, and I was trying to start watching it 20 minutes in so I could fast forward commercials.
Yeah.
So I didn't see the first 20 minutes. They really did a goddamn Christmas pageant.
Well, I guess it wasn't Christmas, it was Shakespeare, but it was, definitely had a Christmassy feel kind of
That
thing.
makes me want to kill myself. And I love myself, so that's saying something.
It was slightly entertaining, but one of the inmates was a little creepy, started singing all high-pitched. It's not worth watching.
Well, notice I said I missed the first 20 minutes. I didn't say I went back and watched it again on the internet or whatever. No.
Yeah, not
that.
even.
Not worth it.
So that sets up kind of, your cast of characters at Arkham this week where, what's going to happen. There's going to be a villain introduced, in which case we meet an inmate named Jack Gruber. And I actually didn't think the guy that portrayed this character was that bad. I thought he was a little creepy. I was kind of hoping he'd turn out to be someone a little more monumental, but he's supposed to be the, I guess he's one of the electrocutioners from the comics. Long story short, we find out that he's been giving electroshock therapy and brainwashing a lot of the inmates he's using as, kind of his goons to take out other inmates or people in the asylum who he doesn't like. We have a side story with Selina Kyle and Ivy, which I was okay with this. I thought that was kind of like a okay precursor because, Batman likes to have those female team-ups. In the comics from time to time. We get Ivy, who's on the street, and she's sick, and Selina takes her back to Jim Gordon's apartment, finds out nobody's home, so they just kind of hang out. Which did lead to one funny moment because it was just not that it was funny because the show meant for it to be funny, but that it was just absolutely terrible. I'll backtrack a little bit and talk about Barbara and Montoya's relationship comes to a halt in this episode. We find out that Montoya, even though she did what I felt like was a lot of the instigating and the breakup of Barbara and Jim and, trying to get Barbara back in her bed and all that kind of stuff was like, we're really bad for each other, so I have to get rid of you. You should probably call Jim, though. Which was just this storyline.
There was no evolution of that shit whatsoever.
No, it was literally like, hey, we're going to throw this wrench in the story, and then we're going to take it out, because I guess we're going to see Barbara go through this downward spiral. I'm assuming. I don't care about her enough to care about that storyline.
No,
there's nothing redeeming about this character. Nothing makes you want her to be part of his life
I'd look at her titties. That's about all she's got going for her.
It's Gotham. There's no nudity.
Oh. I'd still look at them.
Okay. Just so we're clear then.
Yeah.
But the moment of the show that I was just like, well, that pretty much sums it up, is she calls Jim's apartment to get in contact with him. And, of course, we've got Selina and Ivy hanging out at the apartment. And Ivy picks up the phone and I guess implies that she's some girl staying at, Jim Gordon's apartment. She's fucking 10 years old, man.
And sounds like it.
Exactly.
And Barbara's just like, that whore.
I think it'd be like, what the fuck is he doing with a 10-year-old at his apartment? Nope, she gets jealous.
Yeah.
I mean, that to me is just...
Because this guy's shown that he's the type that he just brings bitches home and fucks them, let alone children.
Right. It's the epitome of what's wrong with this show. I mean...
It sucks.
You know what a 10-year-old sounds like, especially when it's on the other end of a phone, because it makes you sound even younger. And to have that, Barbara think that he's cheating on her with some other woman, blah, blah, blah. Just stupid.
Stupid, awkward, and uninteresting.
I want this show to be good, but unless they make some major changes, I don't see it having any kind of longevity.
And there was no Bruce in this episode.
No Bruce, no Alfred. Alfred, who's quickly growing to be my favorite character. I do like.
Wasn't much Bullock, really.
Yeah, there wasn't much Bullock, who's my second favorite character. But the Bullock moment was a bright spot. I did like that. He came in and he took out the director of the asylum and fed him a bunch of bullshit. And kind of a fun moment. Probably the only fun moment of the show.
There was fun in this episode?
That'd be about it.
Oh. We had our mid-season finale a few weeks ago of Gotham, or I guess now a month and a half ago, whatever, for Gotham. And the big cliffhanger is, by God, Jim Gordon's going to be a guard at Arkham Asylum. And it felt like a letdown then, but you go, well, maybe he'll run into some interesting people there and they'll build to something halfway cool for several episodes down the line. Okay, not only did he not run into anyone interesting, it looks like he's not going to be working in the fucking thing next week. And the first episode, the only episode inside Arkham thus far, they just go ahead and have the fucking prison break.
Right.
all the inmates get out.
Yep.
Which you would think would be like a big moment, but no, it's a throwaway moment because this show has no goddamn clue how to build anything subtly towards a big moment.
And that's the thing. Like, to me, number one, this episode, which is supposed to be the turn back, should have been impactful. It should have been, something that makes you go, oh, okay, because people may have missed the first half of the season, tune in and just get floored by it, and they're like, man, I should have been watching this. This episode just spun its wheels.
Dog shit.
Like, it didn't go anywhere. And you're really onto something with the Prison Break thing, because, let's say that they wanted to, which you'd have to do a lot of side story to take you out of the prison for other, parts of the story. But, they could have made that the season finale. It turns into this big, crazy Batman Rogue Gallery prequel, inmates getting out, all of the people they've come across.
The Penguin uses that prison break in his grand master plan to overtake.
Right, and Jim Gordon is the one who organizes everything, gets everything back under control, saves the day, keeps Gotham safe.
To fucking, well, probably not commissioner.
Yeah, but just gets back on the force that way. Yeah. Even just something. Like there just doesn't seem to be a long-term payoff, other than the fact that we're still supposed to remember that we don't know who killed Bruce's parents. When was the last time we talked about that?
Mentioned that in several episodes, 2 or 3 episodes at least. The show sucks.
And lest I forget, there was a Penguin side story in this, which did absolutely nothing. It basically was Penguin getting a little too big for his britches, gets thrown in prison. Turns out that it was Maroney that put him there, then came out just to put him back in check. We had Fish Mooney kind of take out one of the, other mob bosses in a play for power. It just wasn't... It didn't do anything for the show. I don't know how you have that much source material. And, before I was just disappointed in it, but now I'm almost getting angry about it. You have that much source material in a world that already exists that you get to borrow from and play around in, and you're not doing anything with it.
I could shit something better than this show if I drew Batman in it.
Right?
It's just bad. And it's one of those things where I'm watching this like, God damn it, I wish I didn't have a podcast where I have to talk about this.
Yeah, and that's the thing. And for those who are just tuning in, possibly for the first time, we do get more in depth with Flash and Arrow and try to bring it.
Those shows are good, damn it.
We want this show to be good, but it just hasn't given us any material that makes us think that it's going to get better.
You could mash up the good, cool Batman-y moments that they've had for the whole season into one 40-minute episode.
Yeah, I completely agree.
And I don't know. I'm tired of talking about it. Let's wrap this motherfucker up. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, no, I say close it down before I get too angry about it. Come back next week. Is it next week?
We've got next week. We've still got just Gotham.
Come back next week to hear us probably be angry about another episode of Gotham. But if you skip that one and go to the next one...
Don't skip anything.
Okay, don't skip it. I'm sorry.
Listen to them all.
At least download it so we can go like, yeah, people are listening. But Flash and Arrow will be back.
And they'll be amazing.
I don't know. That, they killed off Oliver Queen, so I don't know where that show's going to go now.
It's going to make a comment about what I would stab him with.
Why did you stop?
I don't know. It wasn't a fully formed thought.
Oh, okay. And you were just kind of, at half-mast. Penis.
I'll just cut in something that sounds like I'm dreaming about it.
There's that, what is like that kind of...
I'll be dreaming. Is that Selena? I think it's Selena.
Maybe. Damn.
All right, that's going to do it for this week's hate-filled episode of Primetime Super Friends. You can find us on the web at pubtalkpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Primetime Super. Subscribe to us on iTunes or Stitcher or however you get your podcasts delivered to you. Fucking subscribe, you lazy pieces of shit. That way you don't have to go find the episodes. We all do have individual Twitter accounts as well. I'm at Legendary Jeremy. John?
At Raging Leprechaun.
And through the magic of editing, Michael.
At African81.
Check out our other, better, funnier show, Pub Talk Podcast. You can find that at pubtalkpodcast.com or on Twitter at Pub Talk Podcast. We'll be back next week, talk about Gotham again, and in 2 weeks we'll be back with all 3 shows. So, until next time, stay super, you motherfucking bitches.
Na 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 na.
Marry me, Oliver?